All right guys, so first off, I'm just gonna say that some of this video might seem a little bit offensive. It's not meant to be. I get that everyone comes from different situations. Everyone grew up a little bit differently, but these are just kind of some mindset changes that you might think about making if you find yourself doing some of these things. So I'm just gonna say first off that I've done probably 50% of these things on the list, and I've tried to make these changes and I've seen the results that happen from these changes. So I am guilty of them as well, I will say that. All right, so first on the list, you're afraid to struggle and you won't take any risks. Most people fall into this category. Everyone, once you start making some money, you either wanna, spend it on nicer stuff because you're making more money and you don't want to risk losing it because you've never had this much money in your bank account before, which I've been there, done that. I worked for Discovery Channel before we started this, and I was making a pretty good income, had a good salary, a good job, and once I started to do that, I found myself going out to dinner a little more, spending a little more money on some clothes, but I didn't think about ever investing or taking any risks or seeing if I could build that income because I had it already and I thought, this is good enough. The biggest change I made was when I lost my job at Discovery and I wasn't making the income that I was making anymore. But luckily, while I was there, I kind of started a clothing company and the idea for Gent's Lounge was in the back of my mind. So after that, I kind of said, all right, I'm gonna eat ramen noodles and I'm gonna make this thing work. So I got a job valeting cars and then put my head down and worked on Gent's Lounge for 2 years. And finally, after 2 years, I got to quit my valet job and do this full time, which paid off very well for me. But I will say that, I went from, having this type of lifestyle to having this type of lifestyle for 2 years. But, and in the end, now I have this type of lifestyle. So, if you can take some risks and struggle a little bit for a little bit of time, it will definitely pay off in the end. So next up on the list is spending money on useless stuff. And I know we all do. We all buy those gadgets and things that we think we need or, different kind of stuff. I know my mom has like every gadget known to man. She's got like 3 Keurig coffee makers, any kitchen gadget you have ever seen on TV. And if you take all that money, which seems like little expenditures, and add it up, it really, really adds up. So, guys, kind of cut out the things that maybe you can live without. Maybe that's Starbucks every day, or the little things like $5 a day adds up to what? $150 a month. Over a year, you've got a little over 1,000. Another thing poor people do is they watch too much TV. If you have 6 hours a night to watch The Real Housewives of Orange County or American Idol or The Voice, you have 6 hours a night to make yourself more money. I get people need to relax a little bit, but I'm telling you, if you struggle early and take the risks and work on a side project where you could start your own business or do your own thing on the side, you will be so much better off in the end than those 9 hours of watching Who Won the Voice. Just saying. And another thing poor people do is they kind of look for sales and deals and the TJ Maxx's, the Nordstrom Racks and stuff like that, or outlet shopping. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing and you can't find good stuff at these places, but I am saying that when you go there with that mindset just to like look around and see what you find, you kind of tend to settle. So you're like, yeah, it's nice. You buy something for say $30 that was 70, sure, but you only wear it once or twice. If you paid $70 for something you really liked and you wore it 8 to 10 times, you'd be getting so much more value for your money. Just people kind of think, when you go to the outlet stores, usually they're far away from people's houses, so you drive, and once you're there, you're like, well, I'm here to shop, so I'm here to buy some stuff, and you just end up buying a ton of useless stuff when if you just bought stuff you actually liked, you could have afforded it all anyways. And next up on the list, you gotta stop blaming other people for your problems. You can't be like, well, if so-and-so would have done this, then I could have got this done, or if this would have worked out for me, then, everything in life is under your control, and you gotta realize that it's not about what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it, and if you can react in a positive and progressive way, you're gonna be so much better off than just sitting around blaming other people for your problems. All right, and number 6 on the list is you have no savings or investments. So if you're not putting money away every month, you got some problems. You need to be saving your money. You can't spend your whole paycheck every month. I get, sometimes you have to do that, but like I said before, you guys gotta kind of cut out the useless stuff and save what you can, because the little extra that you save, you can invest and put into, something long-term like stocks, bonds, real estate, all of that stuff, and it's definitely going to help you out in the long run. So if you can just save something every month, it's all gonna add up slowly. It might not seem like a lot at first, but it comes out to be a lot in the end. So you gotta look at the big picture, not what's gonna happen a month from now. You gotta think what's gonna happen 10, 20 years from now, and how much that money's gonna make you then than what it's sitting there doing nothing right now. Or you're buying that one pair of shoes you really want right now that you're gonna wear twice. That $200 pair of shoes becomes a couple $1,000s in about 40, 20 years, There's a lot of money things on this list, and it's very important because money is pretty much the determining factor whether you are poor or rich financially. So number 7, spending money before you have it. If you have a credit card and you're spending money on things that you want to buy that you don't have the cash in the bank to pay for, you're kind of an idiot. I'm just saying. The only thing you should be using credit for is something that's going to make you more money. Like, for example, if you're going to buy a laptop because you're starting a business on that laptop and you're going to make more money from owning that laptop. I'm not saying you should never buy a laptop, but you better have the cash in the bank to pay for it. So in the end, credit should only be used for things that are going to make you more money in the end. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a credit card and take advantage of the point systems that some of them have, but make sure you pay it off every month and you're not accumulating debt. Because trust me, your interest rate is so much higher than any investment you could ever make that you're going to get a return on your investment. I mean, most interest rates, 17, 22%, and your average investment income in the highest will be set 15. So think about that, guys. Number 8, you hang out with other poor people. I know this may sound super harsh and inconsiderate and not nice, but it is the truth. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with most. And if the 5 people you hang out with most aren't making any money that you would like to be making, then you're not in the right crowd of people. I'm just saying you gotta surround yourself with people that have like interests, like minds, and want to succeed. If you're not doing that, you gotta change your friend group. Number 9 is probably my biggest pet peeve of all time. It's when people don't follow through. You hear people all the time, oh, I got this great idea to do this, I got this great idea to do that, and then they don't ever do anything with it, or they just keep talking about it. Well, I have this in the works. It's always in the works, nothing ever happens. No one ever pushes through and finishes anything. And if you can't finish, that is one of the most important things in life. So if you say you're gonna do something, you better do it. That's all I can say for that one. Number 10 has a lot to do with number 9, and it's most people's excuse to why they can't follow through. It's because they didn't have the right help, or they didn't have help from other people. Other people don't need to help you. You have to do things yourself. No one cares about you as much as you do. I will tell you that right now. And if you think people are just gonna, help you for no reason, you are gonna be very, very lucky or very, very disappointed, because I'm gonna tell you right now, most people aren't gonna help you, and most people aren't gonna help you unless you can offer them something in return. So if you need something from somebody, you better make sure you have some skills that they need, because no one's gonna do any work for you for free. I'll tell you that right now. All right, guys, that wraps up the video of the 10 reasons why you're still broke. I know this might seem a little harsh and a little inconsiderate, but like I said before, these are just some things to think about that, maybe you should look at your life and see if you're doing these. And if you are, try to make some changes, adjust slowly. But if you need any advice, feel free to send us an email. We're more than happy to help. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like us on Instagram at Gents Lounge, hashtag your pictures, hashtag Gents Lounge, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.